I know we're recording now. It's what I do is what I sit there with it because it's nice and cool right now.
Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh.
Chubby little cubby all stuffed with fluff.
Pooh, what's that? Oh, Piglet, you're not supposed to be that close.
See what happens when I'm put in charge of leading a video. These two decide to go full Hanna-Barbera on me.
Christopher Robin, Pooh, what are you doing? Oh, I didn't know you were.
Did you know? Did you know Winnie the Pooh?
Did you want to come down and taste my honey pot?
Did you know Winnie the Pooh is actually created by a psychologist to help children express all the emotions they don't truly understand in that developing age?
No.
And
Is that true?
All the characters
Amen.
represent different aspects. Piglet's anxiety, Winnie the Pooh is like Wonderlust, Eeyore is depression, and Christopher Robin is the child that is interacting with all these characters to deal with all the different aspects of growing up.
So wait,
Tigger is ADHD.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Tigger has everything wrong. So wait, Christopher Robin is a child in charge of helping everyone else with their anxieties and depressions?
No, it's the metaphor.
Feeling them.
Yeah, he's metaphorically interacting with these characters, so he's processing his own emotions.
I thought it was like, poor 9-year-old boy has to like support all these folks with
No. He's British.
Trauma.
That would never happen. He's British. That would never happen.
I feel nothing.
Sorry. John, just again, running joke here. British means from London and, Northern Ireland, all that area.
Right.
And not New Zealand where, it sounds like that.
Where do they grow the
Kiwi.
kiwis? Where are the kiwis?
Speaking of Kiwis, hi. We are going to be doing predictions for AEW Dynasty.
They're
This
down
is the
under.
Dynamite crew. You already know who we are. I'm not doing introductions. We got to get through this because we got a lot of matches. So we're going to start with 0 Hour because we're speaking of Kiwis, where we have a title for title match. So this is going to be a unification match between the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn versus the Bullet Club Gold. We got confirmation earlier in the day at the time of this recording that this is going to be a unification match where we are combining the AEW trios and the ROH 6-man tag team championship in one. The way that we got to this story at this is for 0 Hour is non-existent because this has been the worst booking I've seen. Everybody in here hates this feud. You can tell they're trying, but you can tell on their faces, all 6 of these individuals hate this. They hate their lives, and we hate it in return.
They're
Ready to move on. That is why this is the easiest pick for me of the evening. I'm going with the Bang Bang Gang Bullet Club Gold to walk out as your unified trios champion because, let the Acclaim do something else and let them move on. Let everyone move on from this feud because nobody wants to be here.
I disagree only because I think the exact same thing, but I want the Acclaim to have it and give the Bang Bang Gang something else to do. Because I think the Acclaimed, when they weren't in the middle of this for 18 months before this happened, they were hot. They were over. Everybody loved them. And I would like to think they'd want to recapture that again. Of course, they don't need the titles for that. I would be scared if, I don't know. I don't even want to say that. I'm going to talk too much. I'm picking the Acclaimed for the exact same reasons, but just the other side of the coin.
This feud, in its last bits here, has been all predicated on Billy Gunn's past child abuse. He has talked about beating his children and beating everyone else. I am going to have to give it to the Gang Bang Bang because they're going to be the ones taking it down off of the Acclaimed.
JVL knows that Mikey is editing this, so I keep everything in. So have at thee with what you will. Anyways, from here, we got 2 more 0 Hour matches within the last hour. Thank you, internet, and, me scouring, looking for good pictures to put on these slideshows that we're going to have for these reviews. Check that out.
How many
later.
are Tony Storm's feet?
Shh, no. We already went through that on Dynamite.
Scrub your phone, Mikey. You can't leave those in your gallery. People are going to find it.
Use a VPN at least. Always glove up when you go on the internet.
Use a VPN.
Today's sponsor, no, just kidding.
Is Glove Up. Do you want to...
No, I get more questions.
So you like feet, do you? I'm here to tell you.
I get more questions as to
socks.
why there are 9 dudes weird wrestling promo pics in there with your faces in my phone anyways. But speaking of weird things, we're getting a very interesting match for 0 Hour. So these are 2 brand new matches. We're going to start with the one that makes a lot of sense, but I'm less interested in. Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal has been official for 0 Hour. The way we got here is literally what we just covered on Dynamite because Trent threw a chair full press at Matt Sydal.
Wow.
That is why we're getting this match. I'm going with Mr. Trent Beretta to win here.
I'll go with Trent. Matt ate that chair. Both of them. Like, my goodness. So I'll go with Trent. It seems like Trent is pulling the full heel arc angry face thing. We'll see where this goes.
I am also going with Trent, and he does not get dropped off by Sue this time. She's still angry at him, so he has to take the bus.
Does Sue walk out with Orange? At some point?
That'd be crazy.
That'd be wild.
At some point, it would be. And then as of now, because who knows what Tony and the rest of AEW would decide to do leading into Dynasty, but our final 0-hour match, and the one that I'm actually kind of excited for because I hope it's given the time, you have Shane Taylor Promotions, which is Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty taking on the team of Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata.
Chaos in the building.
So good. And it makes a lot of sense because these four have had different interactions with each other over the last couple of weeks or so. In a weird way, just because I think it would give them more stock, I'm going to pick Shane Taylor Promotions to win in this one. I just want good things for Lee and Shane.
Yeah, that's the one that makes sense. But since they just lost on Dynamite, or no, just won on Dynamite, excuse me, I think it's going to be Orange Cassidy going the other way. Just to probably build some heat. I call shenanigans. I think there's shenanigans in this one way or another. I'm not exactly sure what, but I like Shane Taylor Productions. I want to see more of it, so we'll see.
Shane Taylor Productions have been the losers of most of their matches for the last year. I'm going with Orange Cassidy and Shibata to beat them again.
Yeah. It's rough, but yeah.
Alrighty. Well, speaking of rough, we're going to go in the order in which I like to do these types of predictions, in which we start with the non-title matches first and then work our way up the championship ranks as I see fit. So with that being said, we're already coming swinging out the gate. Your singles match, Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson.
Ooh, it's starting hot.
This is what happens when you don't have a championship on the line and you know this match is going to cook, as the kids say. This literally is to prove who is the best wrestler from one generation to the current generation. Like, these are two wrestlers of the same coin, of the same ilk, so the same kin, if you will. And we're about to prove it. This is going to become as a hot take, but I love both of these wrestlers. Will is my all-time favorite current gen wrestler. With that being said, I'm picking Bryan Danielson to win this one.
Really?
I think Danielson is the one to give Will his first loss in AEW.
This should be the match of the night. It should be. I don't know if it will be. On paper, this should be. I'm going to go Will Ospreay just because Danielson's been talking about his career coming to an end and trying to put somebody over and the massive amount of respect that he does have. And we've seen that from the promos and from what we know. I'm just going Will playing the hot hand. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be disappointed it goes the other way. I don't know how you book against Will the way things have been going. Unless you have some other strange career arc madness down the line. Maybe. But Will winning here gives Blackpool Combat Club something to think about, and then hopefully gets Will arcing away from the Don Callis family, in my opinion. So I'm going with Will.
There is something that gives me pause, because we had a lot of these conversations about the same way when Danielson took on Zack Sabre Jr. as the best technical wrestler in the world, and he ended up beating him. And Danielson didn't want to, but was kind of forced to in the moment per AEW booking the way they wanted it to go. That being said, I don't think because Ospreay is now all elite and in this thing that they're going to allow him to be taken down that same road. I think Ospreay pulls it out, but I think there is either a shenanigans or a stare down with Jon Moxley after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with the professor in the sense on paper, this is probably my most anticipated match of the whole entire evening. And I'm going to cry a lot because I love both these wrestlers and I hope they put on a classic that is going to be on my top 20. I haven't even seen the match and it's already anticipated to be on my top wrestling matches of 2024 already.
It's a hard 3-star right now. It hasn't even started.
Seriously. So we move on from this to the only other non-title match this evening at Dynasty. And this is a 6-man tag between Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe. 3 different champions from different promotions of varying degree, taking on the House of Black This was another one of where all three of these men have had different interactions with House of Black, especially Briscoe has probably had the most recent and the most long running feud with House of Black because they've been going back and forth for the last month or two. And then Eddie getting involved with Copeland getting involved in all this. I love the House of Black. I wish they were utilized more because all three men are great. However, I'm just for what I think is going to happen. As much as I would like to see the House take the win here, I'm going to say that Copeland, Kingston, and Briscoe pull out the victory for this one.
I agree. I don't see them going against the arc that they have for Adam, Mark, and Eddie. House of Black is kind of stuck in this, not even mid-card purgatory, just sort of where are you going? We're going to use you when we think we want to place. And that's disappointing. I think they deserve better. That's hard for. If I was anyone in House of Black, I'd be looking for better contracts, which makes me sad because they're great.
What say you?
This was a hard one to go back and forth from because all three of the babyface team could stand to lose and be fine. House of Black losing when they've kind of been on a roll there, even with like Buddy Matthews eating a pin or something, would be still tough on them. So do you want to book them that way, as we've heard that Malachi Black is looking for a way to get out of the company, as Buddy Matthews has said he's looking to get back and be with Rhea now, who's hurt? Like, you know, what do we do with that? I think if I'm putting Tony Khan's booking hat on instead of my own, he books the baby faces to win. So it's going to be Copeland, Kingston, and Briscoe for the win on this. But I don't think it's the right call.
I don't either. But from watching, you know, the product for as long as we all have to a varying length, I think we started to pick up on some of the patterns for booking. So that covers the two non-title matches because, shocker, almost every single championship is on the line at Dynasty, which is what I want Dynasty to be for future. This is literally your night of champions for AEW.
Oh, it's Dynasty, not Dynasty.
Oh, that's the After Hours podcast.
Dynasty. I know Dynasty.
So the way that I'm going to run through these championships is this, for me personally, is the order of championships from the, I don't want to say lowest to the highest, but you have your mid-carders to your main eventers. So we're going to start with the one feud that we all desperately hated of how we got to this point. But this is for the FTW championship.
Hook wins.
Yes, Hook versus Chris Jericho. Hook better win because I will turn off the television screen if not. Moving on.
Thank you.
Next, we're talking about a feud that kind of also was kind of been teased for the last couple of weeks, but has really only been really built for a week and a half or so. And this is for the International Championship. Roderick Strong defending his title against his former friend, Kyle O'Reilly. I got Roddy winning this one. I like Kyle, but there's not enough there for the title to be taken off of Roddy at this point.
I would agree. I think they let him run this a little bit longer. They get Kyle back in the game somehow. A few more promos, a few more matches, but I think it stays on Roddy.
Shenanigans happen. Roddy retains.
Yep.
We get the sighting. We get a second sighting of the Vanilla Gorilla.
Which is perfect.
Infantry need to make a t-shirt out of that, I'm telling you. Anyways.
Like a very pale Magilla gorilla from Barbera.
Just devoid of color. Oh my goodness. We move on from that to also another anticipated match that I'm really looking forward to for the Continental Crown Championship. Kazuchika Okada defending his title against Pac. This, I hope, tears the house down, but I got Okada retaining here.
I think so. Why did you give it to him in the first place if you were just going to have him lose it a month later? I think there will be shenanigans here as well. I don't think EVP stays out of this match. I think Pac deserves a clean pin. I don't know if we're going to get that. I'm torn. I really want to see better for Pac, but I think you're right. It's Okada.
Everything in me screams that they're going to screw Pac over and have him lose in his first big match back. And he doesn't deserve that. That Okada's going to win, but I'm going to shoot my shot here. I'm going to say Pac takes it.
Cool. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
We love it. All right. So follow me on this conspiracy theory, if you will. So next up is for the vacant AEW World Tag Team Championships. We've had a tournament. we got to the finals, which is going to be Young Bucks versus the FTR for the millionth time. And one of these teams is going to become a 3-time AEW World Tag Team Champion. Or will they? Because I have a full-blown conspiracy theory. But the way that our predictions run is we have to pick either or, barring from, craziness. I think it's a funner story if it goes this way. So I'm picking the Bucks to become the first ever 3-time AEW World Tag Team Championships, because I can see the potential for audacity of them to be the comedic Healy EVP types, more so than FTR Bald and FTR Aggravated Assault.
I agree with you. I think it's the Young Bucks because there's more to do if it goes to the Young Bucks right now. We're that's the smart rider choice, whereas the audience face choice is FTR's. But I think having them with the title, you have more heat, you have more to talk about, you have more promos you can shoot. Like, you could just cause more grief and panic, and then whoever takes it from them can be amazing. So I think it's the Young Bucks.
Miz and R-Truth come in and steal the belts. They end up becoming the AEW tag titles. That or the Young Bucks take it, one of the two.
Pure chaos.
So yeah, I mean, we all said that the Bucks are going to win, but follow me on this conspiracy theory. We get a whole WrestleMania moment via the New Day, and it suddenly becomes a triple threat. And this, again, I'm pulling a professor here. I'm Schrodinger's cat booking this thing. It's probably not going to happen, but this becomes This becomes a triple threat. And we get the AEW debut of the Motor City Machine Guns.
I think they're going to come out afterwards, and they're going to attack the Bucks.
That's my secondary thing, too, is that the Bucks win, and then we get the debut of Motor City Machine Guns just popping in. Because, look, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Bucks wish they were the tag team that the Motor City Machine Guns were, because this is a 20-plus tag team who has accolades as a tag team and as individual wrestlers too. But I think Motor City Machine Guns and Young Bucks is going to be one hell of a feud if that's what we're getting.
That makes sense.
It does. Speaking of things that kind of make sense, but not really. So this next championship match is dependent on a lot of things, given what we talked about during the Dynamite review. This is for the TBS Championship. Julia Hart, she is the matriarch of House of Black, defending her title against the number one contender, Willow Nightingale. I still have Willow winning this thing, but in terms of how we go about doing this match has now changed a lot.
I agree. I think it's Willow. I think it's a tough night for House of Black. I really hope it's not Julia dropping it in a squash match. I hope there's something there. They take care of her and they at least do some diligence. I'm a little nervous knowing what I know going into this. Although, who knows? Maybe she shows up, she's totally fine, and they do something fantastic. I think it needs to go to Willow, just because we could start getting all these other angles in there. Now we could actually get Mercedes Moné doing things. We could actually get other folks involved.
We get Chris back and doing something instead of just being the heavy for Willow right now.
Absolutely. So I think the right choice is Willow, but we'll see. I don't know.
Same here. Willow's ending up taking the title. I just hope it's a safe match and they can get through more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. So we leave mid-card titles behind, because now we get to the final 2 matches that we have yet to talk about. We're going to start with what I'm hoping is also a really, really fantastic match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Timeless Toni Storm defending her title against La Mera Mera herself, Thunder Rosa. It pains me to say this because Thunder is my girl. I will ride or die with her, but I have to pick Toni Storm to retain the title because I smell Deonna getting involved in this one way or another. And I think Deonna cost Thunder the title here in some capacity.
I think that's why they built it the way they did and had Deonna so angry at Thunder Rosa randomly angry at Deonna and all this whatever's going on thing. So I do agree with you with that. I think I like Thunder Rosa a lot. It would be awful to change guard with Toni Storm being where Toni Storm is right now. I think it would just totally mute everything we've built up to the last 6 months or so. So maybe a little farther down the line, I think Thunder Rosa should get another shot. I think she deserves better booking and better stories to lead up to a rematch. That would be great. We'll see where this goes.
I'm with you on this one too. We're all kind of guessing the same thing, being kind of smart about it. Tony Storm ends up taking it. I feel like you're right, Mikey. There's going to be some sort of shenanigans. I think this is building to a fatal four-way at Double or Nothing. Mariah May, Tony Storm, Deanna, and Thunder Rosa. All
God, give it to me now. Yes.
That would, and what a way for Deanna or Thunder Rosa to snatch it would be my take. Like, that would be incredible. But we'll see.
I would love to see that. Book it, Tony Khan. We know you listen to this podcast. Now we get into the final championship that is on the line at Dynasty, and this is a big one. This is one that I still been going back and forth all day about for the AEW World Championship. No Mames Mimosa Samoa Joe taking on and defending his title against whose house? Swerve's house, Swerve Strickland. Oh my goodness.
Wait,
this
what?
is 50-50 for me because this could go either way, truly. Swerve's my dude, but it pains me to say this. I'm going against him. I'm picking Joe to retain the title here. I think Joe retains the title here because I'm hoping we get a rematch at Double or Nothing, and that's where Double or Nothing is where Swerve gets that title. Not to say Dynasty is not an important pay-per-view, but Double or Nothing is a big four for AEW, and that would be a fantastic way to get, Swerve to win the title.
I agree with you. I think it's still Samoa Joe. I think that they're going to let this heat right out a little longer. I like where it's going. We plateaued a little this week for sure, at least in my opinion, going into the go-home show. But building up to this, it's been great. I think if it goes to Swerve, I think it's rightfully so, and I think it's fantastic. It gives Samoa Joe a little bit to do. I think they want Samoa Joe to have a lot to do, so I think he's going to be carrying it all the way into the big events coming up into the summer. I think Swerve, it could be shenanigans. It could be something wrong. I don't think it's like an Adam Hangman Page thing. I don't think it's pure shenanigans, but I'm not putting it past anyone. I think it's Samoa Joe. I just think it is.
Picking the Swerve, man. Swerve Strickland.
Swerve's taking it because he's going to be facing Hangman at Double or Nothing to end their little rivalry there because Hangman wants his shot at Swerve with the title.
There's so many fun ways to go with this.
See,
honestly.
but that would make sense, and if it makes sense, they're not going to do it. That's why I got to pick against it.
Nope, I'm picking for it.
All right.
Honestly,
I would not be sad. I mean,
yeah, me either. Because honestly, this is the real match that I was like, it could go either way. And if I'm going to be honest, I'm like 100% happy either way. But
that's good booking right there. That you could have good outcomes either way, and that we can't pick, which is great.
So we're going to see if this video ages like fine wine or, spoiled milk. Because we will be back a few days later, which when this video goes up, we'll be back tomorrow reviewing AEW Dynasty. So myself, the professor, and JVL, as well as our other AEW correspondent, Adolfo, who is my Collision and Rampage cohort. The four of us are going to be reviewing AEW Dynasty tomorrow in the evening. So please come around and stick to that one because we're gonna be going live with that one. So real life shenanigans. It's gonna be a good time.
Did John freeze, or does he just look that good frozen?
I mean, yes. We're gonna get up on out of here because we got a lot this weekend, especially for me because I have 2 pay-per-views to cover this weekend. But from us here and the rest of the BC WrestlePod boys, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and more importantly, you deserve to finish your story. We'll catch you for the Dynasty review tomorrow. But until then, ta-ta for now.
Kiwis!
Whee!
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's going to happen next time? Well, you're going to have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.